لله ثم الصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده نبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله ومن والاه. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the one that has made it possible for us. Today could be the last day of Ramadan, who knows? So I'm speaking from Toronto, whereas uh, today could be last day of Ramadan, as I said earlier, or it could be a day, a penultimate day to Ramadan. So whatever, whenever Allah is the ending, we'll say Alhamdulillah. However, we just want to call our attention to some of the things that we do uh, that may not be part of it, or some things that we ignore that highly recommended for it, or some things that we thought is part of it, but they were introduced to it, and we don't even know how we joined the Banton and to be part of it as well. So it's not going to be too long. It will be equal to like up to say point bullet point. So Z. Inshallah, we're not going to be too long on this midnight ta'ala. You and I, we know that we know the Sharia of Eid. We only have two Eid that are well publicized. Eid al-Fitr, that is the one when we finish the fasting in Ramadan. Or Eid al-Adha, that is the one when we slaughter. And so the lesser one that is third one is Eid al-Yawm al-Jumu'ah. So the day that we congregate in a masjid to listen to the khutbah and for us to interact with our community people, this is the third Eid we have. So we're not going to talk about the time. We know the time, to be performed. We know when it's performed. But at the same time, we'll be looking at al-khuruju ila al-musalla wa hadaba. When is the event? To go to it and the etiquette of it. Especially will be focused on Eid, small Eid, which is Eid al-Fitr today, the Ibn Ta'ala. And as you and I know, the difference between this one and the Eid al-Adha, because that of Adha, when we do that, we are expected to have a mini fasting. We call it mini. After Salatul Fajr, we are not expected a sunnah. We're not expected to put anything to our mouth until we have finished the salah and come back home. Or from the Eid, we can eat something when we come back on our way home. Either way we can do of any of those three ways after the salah, when we're coming home, or when we got home. This is for Eid al-Adha. For Eid al-Fitr, which one is the one that we're looking at? And it might be tomorrow, which is April 9th, 2024. Or it could be on Wednesday. By the time I finish this talking, I believe we will know maybe in the next 2-3 hours if it's tomorrow, because some people are ahead of us in terms of sighting the Hilal. So if Allah made it easy for them to be sighted today, so inshallah tomorrow will be. But if not, we'll wait till Wednesday. So the first one, day of Eid, it will be it will be obvious to us that people will take shower. It's gonna be obvious to us that you are expected to take al-ghusl qabla al-khuruj before you leave in home. So you know that some of us might be coming from our job. So if you are coming from our job, make sure that you have taken the ghusl. You know the ghusl, the spiritual bath. This is what is expected of us to do. Number two is at-tajmulu wa lubusu hasan al-thiyab, to beautify the clothing we are going to wear that day. Don't just make sure that if the cloth is not ironed, get a place to make it look nice. So don't dress shabbily. This is what is expected of us. You dress nicely, you beautify yourself. So, and then part of the beauty of a male is to what is it called? Apply good perfume to his body, or what we call cologne. If you have the best, use it. It makes you smell nice for male. So for female, it's haram to apply perfume to your body and get out like that. فقد ثبت عن النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم قال أيما امرأة استعطرت فمرت على قوم ليجدوا من ريحها فهي زانية. رواه الإمام أحمد ونسائي وحسنه الباني في صحيح الجامع. You see, these are these in the book of Imam Ahmad is hadith 19,212 and hadith 5,126 in the book of Muslim and the book of Nisai. See, people today, they want to look nice, especially our female who are Muslim. They will apply perfume or they will put on all sorts of things to make them smell nice. If you are smelling nice within the four walls of your house, Fabi wa ni'ma, is okay. But also I say, once you are stepping out, once you know you are going out, you cannot put perfume. Because if you put perfume and some of the people, they smell it in you, or by going around them, they smell something of perfume in you. Rasul, I call you a fornicator. It's not my statement, it's the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wasallam. So, in fact, in another narration, called Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, say, حُبِّبَ إِلَيَّ النِّسَاءُ وَطَيِّبُ وَجَعِلَتِ قُرَّةُ عَيْنِ فِي صَلَاةٍ. Let me skip that hadith. Let me use another hadith. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, for a woman, عن زينب امرأة عبد الله بن مسعود رضي الله عنه ورضي الله عنها قالت قال لنا رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم إذا شهدت إحداكن المسجد فلا تماس طيبا أو طيبا فلا تماس طيبا. رواه Muslim, hadith 443. The wife of Abdullah ibn Mas'ud Allah said, Rasulullah told us, Rasulullah told us, Qala lana Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam. Rasulullah told us with the women, whenever any one of you is coming to the masjid, do not put perfume on yourself. This hadith in the book of Imam Muslim, hadith 443. But today we see our women, they do not even dress according to what Islam want them to dress. They dress shabbily. Some will even wear what is called lace, and you see their bra and everything there, and they will still apply perfume. She is committing to sin at the same time. First of all, she kasiyati ariyat, She was dressed but naked. That's the first sin. And the second one is she applied perfume onto her body. So we should be aware of this. Whether we like it or not, your husband is the one to beautify yourself for. You're not competing with anybody outside. If you're married, do the best you can for your husband. Even if you want to wear bikini within the four walls of your house, your husband is the only person who is entitled to see your nakedness in any way, shape, or form. And that's the only person you can bear yourself naked too. If you want to wear anything that will make man's head torn, it's solely for your husband, nobody else, nothing more, nothing less. That's the dressing part of it. Then number 3 is al-aqlu qabla al-khuruj ila al-musalla fi Eid al-Fitr khassa. When you are going to the masjid, both male and female, young and old, you are expected to eat something and drink something. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will eat dates, either 1, 3, 5, 7. If there is no date, say you lick honey. If there is no honey, then you make sure you're not fasting to the masjid. Put some water in your mouth. In fact, the ulama, they say eating dates or honey, something sweet, is only the medical doctors will know why you must eat it. Something sweet, because you have deprived yourself of such for a longer time. They say it is medical doctor can explain to you the need for the date or the need for the honey. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Number 4, this one, people do it, but they do it at the wrong time. Which is at-takbiru fil idaini min hina al-khuruj. Meaning, you start to do Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. Immediately you set to go out. You see, when we were growing young, when we were growing up back in Nigeria, we noticed that when our brother took us to the Eid, whatever vehicle we ride, or people that were riding vehicle, they will be shouting from their vehicle, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah. It shouldn't be done with the way they should not employ the way of thuggery, the way they do it while riding on a vehicle. It should be done with ease and calm, so that people will not be swayed off of our antics. Is this the thuggery that Islam is teaching you? Whereas Islam is the best compared to anything. So this is what we'll be doing. What is the proof of that? Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah, بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. Quran 2 verse 185. You say Allahu Akbar. So different versions, we know of it. Sigatul Takbir. There are people who will say, this everything I want to say, they are allowed to be said on the day of Eid. You can say Allahu Akbar. This one is from the Ibn Masud al-Land. That is what I heard. He said, Adni Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I know kana yaqul. Rasulullah taught us, and he will be saying, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Wallahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Walillahi alhamd. You will see this in the book of Imam Ibn Abi Shayba. So this one is authentic. That's number 1. If you go to the variation, another one from Rasulullah that was taught to Ibn Abbas, he said, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, 3 times. Walillahi alhamd. الله أكبر وأجل لا الله أكبر على ما هدانا. This one is in the book of Imam al-Bayhaqi wa hadithun sahih. That's number 2. Number 3, Salman al-Farisi said, this is what Rasulullah taught us. Yaqul, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar kabira. This one, the Isnad in Sahih, again from the book of Imam al-Bayhaqi. This is another version. So anyone you implore to say, don't get to the masjid. Why you'll be saying it? And somebody will say Allahu Akbar. The rest of us will say Allahu Akbar. So though ulama, they said, Ibn Abbas, anhuma, they said, if somebody is reading, can we do adkaru jama'ah? Can we make it a jama'ah? In terms of somebody say Allahu Akbar, we are saying after him, or can all of us be saying at the same time? They said, this one, it is a thing that is it is a ruling is open, but what is preferable is everyone to be saying is Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, La ilaha illallah, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar wa la ilham. And this one, today, I mean, any day the 8 days, people will say Allah Akbar only after the Salat. But whereas there is nothing from authentic Sunnah that says you say it 3 times after the Salat and you keep quiet. There's nothing. La dalilu ala hada. Because there's no proof that when you finish Salat, as which is common in North America here, people say Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allah Akbar 3 times, and they will start to be doing their adhkar after salawat. So ulama, they said there is nothing that says when you finish salat, it starts to be said 3 times only. Say as much as you can. Another one is that يخرج النساء حتى الحياد والصبيان. The women have to go to Eid. When they go to Eid, even if the one that are menstruating, that they are in their period, or the one, if they have the strength, who are postpartum bleeding, if they have the strength, they can go out and they take their children to that place. If the weather condition allows it, and the kid can withstand it, inshallah, they can go out. However, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this from Atiyah, said that Mirna Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Rasulullah commanded us and nukhrijana fil fitr. Rasulullah commanded us to go out in the day of Fitr and Dua, and those who are menstruating and those who just gave birth to their children. So, but he told us, Ya Rasulullah, some of us, we do not have La yakunu la jalbab. Rasulullah say, some of you should borrow her. So ulama, they are saying, is it compulsory? If it's not, some say if it's not compulsory, Rasulullah will not ask them to borrow or to lend. If you don't have, go and seek from the jilbab you wear. If you have, as much as you have, give some out. This is what Rasulullah said. Number 6 is that mukhalifatu tariqi ila musalla. So when you go through a channel or route, try as much as possible to go through another route. Number 7, يستحب المشي إلى المصلى وعدم الركوب إلى لحاجة. It is advised if you can walk to the masjid or where you're going to pray the Eid. Where we say masjid, especially in North America, most of the people they use musalla or masjid to pray their Eid. Unlike some other places, they will go to suburb of the town or outskirts of the town to pray their Eid there. So when you come to the place of your Eid, if it were to be a Eid, there is no nawafil before or after, but ulama they differ when it comes to if you are praying in a masjid. So why? Because there's always tahiyatul masjid. Anytime you enter to the masjid, before you sit down, you have to pray 2 rak'ah. So these they say it's as if this salat is compulsory before you sit down. Rasulullah commanded that Sahaba while he was alive in the khutbah, and he asked him, have you prayed? He said no. While he was praying, while he was in the Jummah during the khutbah, and he said no. Rasulullah said, then if you have not prayed, stand up and pray. This one you have to make it light. While Rasulullah was making khutbah, that was when the Sahaba came in. So this is what they base it upon. That is, if you are praying the masjid, this right, you are praying the masjid, before you sit down, you must pray Tahiyatul al-Masjid. As we said, لَيْسَ لِعِنْدِ أَذَانُ وَلَا إِقَامَةٌ. There is no adhan or there's no iqama. كيفية صلاة العيد. This one, صلاة العيد ركعتان, is 2 rak'ah as we know. لي حديث عمر رضي الله عنه قال صلاة السفر ركعتان وصلاة الأضحية أو صلاة الأضحى ركعتان وصلاة الفطر ركعتان تمام غير قصر على لسان نبيكم صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. If you are traveling, 4 rak'at is 2. If you are slaughtering after Eid is 2 rak'ah and 2 rak'ah after Salatul Fitr. So this one you can't go beyond that because this is what Rasulullah told us. This is from Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu. Now, how do we start? This may not be a problem. This because those are imam. Those imam who are leading, they know what to do. So where the problem is, am I raising my hand every time the imam says Allahu Akbar? Or I will just raise it one time and the rest, when he says Allahu Akbar, am I just saying Allahu Akbar? That's number one, if you are praying by the imam. Number 2 is the imam the only one that can raise his hand 7 times, or every time he says Allahu Akbar? Is he the only one that can raise his hand? Today, we'll not be dealing with the statement of ulama when it comes to that. So inshallah, we'll just deal with how many takbirat would you have to say after takbiratul ihram. Some say you have to say takbiratul ihram is rukn min arkan salat, is a pillar among the pillars of salat. You say Allahu Akbar, you raise your hand this way. You have to raise your hand this way. But takbiratul ihram is 3 ways you can do it. You can say Allahu Akbar by raising your hand and saying the statement at the same time, Allahu Akbar. Or you raise your hand this way, you put it back to your chest, you say Allahu Akbar. That is the second way. The third way is to say Allahu Akbar. You say Allahu Akbar, then you raise your hand, you put it back to your chest. But the one that is common among us is to say Allahu Akbar. We say it and raise our hand. But you can't say one is better than the other, because this is the three-way Islam from Rasulullah والسلام, was described to us how to making takbiratul ihram. Wallahu ta'ala alam. So when you say Allahu Akbar, the first one, which is compulsory, the rest are intiqal. So the rest, they are not compulsory. So the first one, where you stand up, Allahu Akbar, is compulsory. Then how many would you say after that? The first rak'ah, the Imam will say 7. You follow your Imam anyway on that. When it comes to how many is said, some say 6, some say 7. Wait, takbiratul ihram, it will be 8. So, but raising the hand is where we might do what we think is appropriate or closer to what is authentic. So they say, وَلَمْ يُسْحَى عَنِ النَّبِي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم أنه كان يرفع يده مع تكبيرات العيد، لكن قال ابن القيم وكان ابن عمر مع تحريره لاتباعه يرفع يده مع كل تكبيرة. When they say we do not see from Rasulullah والسلام, to be raising his hand every time when it's Allahu Akbar, just the first time Allahu Akbar, then we'll say Allahu Akbar, the second time we'll say Allahu Akbar, the third time say Allahu Akbar, until this 8th. The first one is the first takbir, which is compulsory. So the next 7 one, we'll be saying it. Now, some ulama would have said, when Imam Allahu Akbar, when he paused, does he say something? Some say we say Alhamdulillah. Some say, but what we know that is authentic is there is nothing to be said when it pauses between those takbir is making. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Then after that, it will recite Surah Al-Fatiha. Then it can recite any of these surah in the first rak'ah. It can Surah Al-Qaf, wal Quran al-Majid. It can finish it. So, and the second rak'ah, it can recite Iqtarabat as-sa'atu wa inshaqa al-qamar. This is Surah Al-Qamar. So, likewise, Rubama, it can recite Surah Al-Ala, Sabbi isma rabbika al-Ala in the first rak'ah. And the second rak'ah, it can recite Surah Al-Ghashiyah. So though this, we know it is authentic. Anyway he wants to do it, that's fine. Yours is not yours, it's on the Imam, whatever he finishes. Now, when the Imam finish, then the 2 rak'ah, then that's when they go to khutbah. The khutbah, this one you can do it here. You can choose to listen to it. But if you are not listening to it, you don't constitute nuisance. You have to leave. Leave the sport so that you will not disturb people who are listening to it. But what we know is most Sahaba who have worthy names, they will stay behind to listen to the khutbah. So it's just one khutbah. It won't be too long. And it's a khutbah that you don't match the minbar. You just sit down. This is to the Imam. You don't go to the minbar. They praise Allah, and they remind us of what is imminent or what is benefiting to us. Wallahu ta'ala alam. So, and we notice that when we finish the salat, some of our brothers, they employ the greeting of Taqabbal Allahu minna wa minkum aw wa mink. So this one is famous among some of the Sahaba, but there is no specific greeting to be greeted with in terms of when we finish the salat. Whatever greeting you know is okay, inshallah. To say that this is the only only greeting that is allowed. This is not. This is, it's, oh, after all, it's greeting. Any greeting that has nothing to associate partners with line, inshallah, it is okay. So, but I'll have to go back on this one in terms of when we start Ramadan. Some will be greeting you that Ramadan Kareem. Some ulama they say don't say that because Allah al Kareem, al Kareem, Ramadan al Kareem. They say don't say it. You can say Ramadan Mubarak. You can say whatever, but the Kareem is the name of Allah. They say don't put that there. So this is a little I can say about that. Likewise to our people, especially those who think the day of Eid is the day to listen to music. They will be listening to nasheed, or what is it called? They think an Islamic song. There is nothing called Islamic song in Islam. If you want to listen to song, you are on your own. Don't associate song and musical instruments with Islam. Some will be saying when Rasulullah came to Medina and Mecca, astaghfirullah, he was greeted with Tolal Badiru Alayna, and they say they were singing and dancing. Wallahi lazim. I can say it. There is nowhere, no proof that Rasulullah was greeted coming back to Mecca with song and dance. Nowhere. We don't know how they got this from, but there's nowhere you can trace that to. Those who are saying it, let them tell us where they got it from. Let them tell us, even if it's one of the mawdu'ats. Let them give us that is fabricated statement, whereas there is not. Let's now assume it was. They greeted Rasulullah with song and dance. Rasulullah did not tell them to greet him with song and dance. It wasn't even there. So we should not even let loose the dog of vandalism on that. Okay? So that's number one advice. Number two, in terms of being heedless on the day of Eid, people they will let Salat go on before they say, let me now repay my Salat. If Eid is here, your Salat is not going anywhere. You have to pray your Salat. Inna Salata kanat ala al-mu'minin kitaba mawquta. Indeed, Salat is compulsory and that is prescribed time for every Muslim. So your Eid is a felicitation while your Salat is compulsory. It's going nowhere. Number three, for it's not a day to sit down to be watching Nollywood or Hollywood movies or Bollywood. It's the day to be happy with your family. It's not a day you say, oh, I'm going to the club with my friends. Be indoors with your family. Stay home with your family. Husband, be with your wife and children. Wife, it's not a day to say, I want to go and visit my friend. Stay with your husband or stay with your wife if you're married. If you're not married, stay with your immediate family. So this is how you can enjoy the Eid. Number four advice is that we should make it that we extend greetings to those who are our family members. Make it a day you call. If you can call them, those who know from your family members, father's side and mother's side. And that shouldn't be the thing that should be what is expected of you and I when the Eid is at hand. And you and I know that Zakatul Fitr, it is not what we're talking about, but it has to be paid. If I say PAID, I'm saying the best is to use food, as they say. If you can't see people you can give food, if you're giving money, let it be given before the time of Eid. Today could be the best, could be the last, in case the Hilal is sighted in some some part of the water, they are hours ahead of us. So, inshallah, may Allah have mercy on me and you and forgive me my mistake. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.